everyone, it's Jessica and I'm back with another layout for SpiegelMom's Scraps design team, and today I'm showing you a different way to use your sequins by incorporating them into a pocket page. So I have pulled out one of my pocket pages. I think this one is by Echo Park, if I believe is the brand name of the actual page protector, and it's divided into the just the small 3x4 squares, so it's all the same size. And I am just going to use a lot of photos on this layout, which I love, and it's a good way to use up a lot of photos. And I'm gonna just put a few little elements in here from a summer collection that I have, and then I am just choosing my photos here that I want to use. I'm just cutting them apart. I print my photos in wallet size on my computer, so they're actually a little bit smaller than 2x3, I believe. And I think that's the dimension what's the dimension of a pocket page? I can't even remember. I think it's 3x4 or something like that. But my photos are a little bit smaller than that. If I wanted to print them to fit the pockets, I could, but for this, since my photos are already printed, I am just going to use them and mat them and do some cool things with them. And then for my sequins on this layout, I'm going to incorporate them in a little bit of a different way, because I am just going to fill in one of my pockets with it. So you'll see the sequins through both sides of the layout. So for these pocket pages, you have to do both sides to finish them off. And I am going to do just that, but for my sequin pocket, it's just going to be just sequins. So you'll see through it, but it creates a really cool effect. And they do make a fuse tool to actually seal the top after your sequins are in there, but I'm not going to use that because I don't have one. I am just going to do some machine stitching on my sewing machine across the top of that pocket after I get my sequins in there, so none of them fall out. So it's a super simple way to do that. You could even hand stitch that, or you could even just use some adhesive glue on it as well, and that would just be perfectly fine. So for my pocket pages, I really spend a lot of time on them. It takes me a while to do them. This is one of probably my longest videos that I've ever had, but I don't know what takes me so long with them, but they do. Maybe it's because it's double-sided and I have to think about both sides and have to think about, you know, things peeking through to the other side if I want to use both sides of the papers and different things like that. But here I'm just cutting out my photos that I want to use. I have, these are photos all from the month of, I think it was July, and I am just picking out which ones I want to use in here, and I am just putting them where I want them, kind of just getting my layout together. And then I have this punch here. This is actually a Project Life punch that cuts the squares down for you and rounds the corners already for you. So it wasn't working right at first, so I had to fiddle with it a little bit. But once I got it, it was actually locked somehow, but it wasn't showing that it was locked on the side tab, so I had to mess around with it and get it unlocked. But yeah, I love this little punch. It creates those perfect size squares, and I just love it. So the only bad thing is I used it with the small paper pad, which I think is a 6x8 paper pad. Yeah, must be 6x8, because in a 6x8 paper pad, if you cut it apart just right, you can actually get 4 cards out of one sheet of paper. But being that I use this punch, it's really hard to line it up perfectly on the corners and get everything lined up just right. So I only got 2 out of each paper. But if you fiddled with it, you might be able to get more, but I don't think I'm that great at it, so I don't think I could line it up perfectly to do it. Plus, time is kind of an element always whenever I'm scrapbooking, so I do what takes the least amount of time usually, and for me it was just not worrying about how much they were lined up and how much paper I wasted doing this, so I just kind of put them there and only got 2 out of it, and that's fine. But actually, now that I'm looking at it, I don't think you could get 4 out of it even if you tried, because of the way that the holes punch too whenever you punch them out. But I don't know. I'm sure there's some way that you could, but it doesn't really matter. Not all of you have that punch, so I'm sure you're just going to manually cut them out down to size anyways. But what I'm doing is I have cut a bunch of those cards out from the Summer Lovin collection, I think it's by Simple Stories. And I am just backing all of my photos with some smooth white cardstock, just a really small matting around my photo, nothing huge. And then I'm using the pattern paper to actually put my 3x4 card into the pocket pages, or pocket slots, I guess. And then this one here in particular, I am just using some ThermoWeb photo corners on. And I am just using my ATG gun to attach everything. And I think I actually might switch to my small tape runner too. I don't know. I kind of just tend to grab whatever's on my desk in front of me or whatever I can find because I'm kind of a messy scrapbooker. So when I'm scrapping, my desk gets so messy and I kind of lose my tape runners and glues and things. So sometimes I just grab whatever I can find. So here I really want to incorporate some of these little tags. So I'm going to put that one down in the bottom right. And then I love that one that said, "Let the adventure begin." So I'm going to use that one just in itself. I'm not going to do too much to it. This isn't a super extravagant pocket page or anything complicated. I'm keeping this one very simple so it's easy for anyone to follow the design. There are kind of a few things that I like to do. As you saw me cut that other one, the pictures of my husband and my son on the 3-wheeler there on the left, I actually overlaid them and then I cut it down the middle. So I wanted to keep it looking like it was kind of overlapping into the other pocket page, or pocket. I don't know. You know what I mean. I just wanted it to like overlap and look like it was going into the other one. So that's why I pulled out my cutting mat and my cutting blade and I cut it down the middle. But I wasn't too careful whenever I taped them together and didn't have a lot of adhesive, so they kind of fell apart, but I had to put them back together. So I'm just pulling out some embellishments now, mainly from this Summer Lovin collection. I really like it. It's so pretty. And I just wanted to use up some of these elements. I haven't used this collection too much, so I wanted to incorporate as much of it as I could. I love those cute little watermelons in this little camping themed sticker book. They have so much cute stuff in these little sticker books. I cannot stress enough how much I love these things. And they're just jam-packed with embellishments. And they're perfect for these pocket pages because they remain flat. So you don't want to add a lot of dimension in these pockets because they won't fit. So a lot of times if I have something thicker, like a foam embellishment, I will actually attach it to the outside of my pocket page. So I'll attach it right on top of the clear sheet. That way it's not taking up bulk inside my pockets. So I'm going to be pulling out my black archival ink a lot in this video. So I'm doing some stamping. I'm going to stamp some word phrases from Ellie's Studio and some other little stamps. You'll see me pulling that out quite a bit and just kind of scattering some stamping around my little pockets, my little pictures. And I'm going to pretty much mat all of them with white cardstock and then have one behind it of pattern paper. And then that one pocket will be filled with sequins. So that's kind of how this side's gonna go. And then of course you'll see my other side here. I'm gonna pop some music in here because I'm sure you guys don't want to watch or listen to me talk the entire time. So I'm just going to pop some music in here. If you guys have any questions about anything I did, please let me know in the comments and I will do my best to answer them. And yeah, I hope this inspires somebody to create today. That's always my goal, to inspire someone to create something beautiful. And I'm just popping on some sequins down here to pull in some of the sequin mix. This one is Find the Joy, and you can grab that from the shop with my code Jessica15. And yeah, so I'll pop some music in here and I will stop in at the end with the finished layout. here's the finished layout. Here's page 1 or side 1, and you can see those beautiful sequins in the pockets. And then side 2 is here, mostly greens and yellows and blues. And I hope you guys enjoyed watching this process today. I hope that I've inspired you to create something beautiful, and feel free to shop and grab that sequin mix from the shop with 15% off with my code Jessica15. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have a great day. Bye-bye.